Hi, this is Dale, and I want to go through some rigging options you might have with your character. Now, what I did was I took your character and I broke it all apart into pieces. And as you can see on the screen, I got it here. And I actually have two files here. So let's take a look at the first one here, where you have the hair in two pieces of hair, and let's take a look at it broken up. Uh, hmm, the there we go. Okay, so what I did was I used the bone offset tool, and it's kind of funky. And once you get used to it, you with the tool on, you're able to move stuff around. Okay, and when you go back to the select tool, you can see where this is where I entered the images. So I'm able to there, and you can see the hierarchy here for the bones. Okay, even though it's offset. So let me go down the timeline. Now you can see it a little bit better. Of course, your image has bones on it, so it's kind of hard to really see all this stuff going on. Oops, I didn't want to do that. So with this, you get some control. Okay, you can move the arms and the head and the hair here. Oops, I don't want to move the bone there, but you can move the hair a little bit. Okay, and I've got the hair behind your head, but in front of the body. So let me go into little tricks here. Okay, so I'm going to hide the face and the hair and both hairs. Okay, and I've got this layer way in the back. Okay, and what it is, it's a vector for the face. So as you move the face, okay, the you might have a gap here in between images. Okay, and this vector here fills that gap. So that's one thing you can do. And I mean, it's like a patch layer with vectors. So you can actually do it on the arms. You can put a vector here, okay, matching the colors, and it would allow you to stretch the arm out. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let me just throw in a vector quickly here. Move the points a little bit better. So now I've got this patch layer, okay, and I don't want to. And I've got the, I want to show this arm. And so I've got this arm here. Now, so let's say I move, let's say now with the bone offset tool, I move the bone here. Okay, so now I get this big gap here. Okay. Now with this patch layer, it ain't showing up. Here, hey, that offset now doesn't show up as badly. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You see? And you get more flexibility with the bones now. So now if I move the bone, I could actually have this layer with a smart bone come and fix this movement. So there's there's one way of approaching this. So you're using the vector and your raster images. The vector is going to be placed in the back, and it's just going to patch joints. That's one thing. Now, the other thing I got going on here, let me remove this animation. Okay, is the I'm just showing up. Well, okay. So anyway, I've got a patch there, and next thing I want to talk about is the face here. Now, I've got your face on a switch layer, so you can have the face looking and the face there. But that's kind of clunky, it's like poof. Now, I'm not going to go into it in a lot of detail, but if you were to take this face, let's just zoom in on the face for a second and hide everything else for a moment. Okay, so let's say we take this face here, and I'm switching back between the two faces. Okay, what you could do is you could add a face 3 by going into a morphing program and morph from this face to this face. This is just the face flipped. So if you morphed it, you would have an in-between that would be very blurred, but it wouldn't give you that clunky turn. Fortunately, I don't have time to go into the morphing program. There's a couple of free morphing programs out that will morph from that position to that position. And it'll be very blurred, but it would be a nice in-between. So there you go from one face to the other face, and you're only drawing one face, but you've got a halfway decent head turn with just putting a third layer right in between there that's morphed between the face looking one way and the face working the other way. And of course, this is just the face flipped. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Hey, oh yeah, another thing. Oops. Hey, here is the same setup. Of course, the position sucks, but I've also done this rigged like this, where each individual layer has its own bones. So now I didn't use the offset tool, and I'm allowed to manipulate on each layer, oops, how did I do that? Each layer I can manipulate, the bones. Okay, the only problem with doing it this way is that if you go to the main layer and you try to move stuff, everything's separated. So it works, but it doesn't. So, just be aware that, you can do it this way, but you can only move the individual body parts unless you get into some really complicated rigging setups. That's all I can say about that. There's a way of doing it this way. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.